Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of your Washington Update, coming to you from the National Urban League's Washington Bureau. I'm Don Cravins Jr. I'm the executive director here, and myself and my staff, it's an honor to be with you once again. Our Washington Update is filled with a lot of great news about all of the things that are happening here in the Capital Beltway. And so I hope you take some time this week to actually look through some of the columns we have. One of the columns that I actually worked on this week was one on the Earned Income Tax Credit as well as the Child Tax Credit. These are two very, very powerful tax credits that can help middle class and working America get some of their money back, some of their hard-earned money back. And so many African Americans and many people who lived in underserved communities who work hard for a living, they don't always take advantage of the tax credit. And so this congressional session, we're going to be asking Congress to make some of these tax credits permanent. And I'm going to also be asking that many of us in America take advantage of these tax credits. So please, if you get some time, read a little bit about the column. It's a two-piece column. This week I tell you a little bit about the tax credit, and then next week we'll talk about some of the deadlines and some of the timelines and how you can become involved in helping to get Congress to make these tax credits very, very permanent, because we need it. I know everybody can use a couple of dollars in their pocket to buy school supplies and car repairs and all of the things that middle class, working class Americans have to pay for. I've got 3 children, so I know. Also, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but I just want to reiterate that the Urban League is just very, very proud to have been selected by the United States Census Bureau as a member of the Advisory Committee on Race and Ethnicity. As you know, people have to be counted in a census. It's the whole reason for a census. And so when people are not counted properly, many times those communities are not able to get the resources that they need from the federal government. So I want you to rest assured that the Urban League takes its responsibility as a member of the advisory committee very seriously, and that we're going to be monitoring race and the collection of race and ethnicity data to make sure that people are properly counted in the census going forward. It's never too early to plan for the 2020 census, and I want to just reiterate that. The 2020 census is going to be here before you know it. The process has already begun, and there's an opportunity to design, to plan, to produce, and to implement that census. And so if that's something you're interested in, please get involved. Please go to our website. There's more information there. We will include a link to the information in this update. So don't ever think it's too early to plan for the census. Also want to give a shout out to Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who is a shero of mine. She's always working very, very hard to make sure that in the financial services industry, there's diversity, a much needed diversity. And so this week, you'll see in our Washington Update, we're happy to announce that Congresswoman Waters is going to be unveiling and releasing a report that she had done by the Democratic staff it's a report on diversity at the federal services agencies. And it's entitled The Dodd-Frank Act, 5 years Later, Diversity in the Financial Services Agencies. And so you may recall the Congress passed the Dodd-Frank legislation a few years back. President Obama signed it. It was an act intended to basically restructure Wall Street and the way Wall Street acts and performs. In that act, Congresswoman Waters and many members of the Congressional Black Caucus made sure that there was going to be an Office of Minority and Women Inclusion, also known as OMWIs, in the federal government. And an OMWI is supposed to make sure that minorities and women are included not only in the agencies of the federal government, those financial service agencies, but also in the financial service industry. And so we here at the National Urban League, we've been working on our part, which is to make sure that companies, when they're hiring, when they're contracting, when they're training, when they're trying to identify young people who may want to be in the financial services industry, we at the National Urban League have been working very, very hard to engage and to partner with and to push these companies to hire men and women of color. But Congresswoman Waters and the Congressional Black Caucus, they're doing their part to not only do that, but to also make sure that our federal agencies have diversity and are doing their part to make sure that the financial service sector is diverse. So congratulations to Congresswoman Waters and to the Democratic staff there. Keep up the good work, and of course we want to continue partnering with you here at the National Urban League. Also, last but not least, we've got our affiliate highlight, and as you know, each week we spotlight or highlight one of our affiliates or one of our auxiliary organizations in the movement and to congratulate them for the hard work that they do each and every day in one area or another. This week's spotlight is on the National Urban League's Guild. and for their use of innovation and focus on the importance of voting in a virtual town hall. So they had a virtual town hall where they highlighted the importance of voting. As you know, voting is crucial to all of the work that we do here at the National Urban League, all of the work that you do in your local communities. If you don't vote, you don't get counted, you don't get to participate. And so congratulations to the Guilders. Want to say congratulations especially to their president, Miss Cynthia Stokes Murray, and thank her for her leadership, and say continue the great work. And they're our highlight and spotlight for the week. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of other things in our Washington update. Please take the time to look through it. And of course, if you need us here at the Washington Bureau, we're just a phone call or an email away. Thanks for what you do in and for the movement. I'm Don Cravins Jr. I'll see you next week.